Portobello Beach, a place where you go when you can't go Eacham Beach. Hello.
Welcome to another episode. I'm Des O'Gorman.
And I'm Ash Price.
And today we're going to be talking about something relaxing.
Something dreamy.
Something nostalgic.
Something that gets sand in your bum crack.
I wanna have sex on the beach. Come on, move your body.
You've kind of buried the lead there now, but yeah, we're going to be talking...
But I'm bummed.
Yeah, thank you, Ash. I hate sand. It's hard and coarse and it just gets everywhere.
Sex on the beach.
Yeah, like everyone talks about sex on the beach and like it sounds like such a bad idea.
Oh, that's it. Oh, just thinking about it now, I'm just imagining 2 bits of sandpaper just...
Oh,
Yeah.
no. If you have had sex on the beach and would like compensation,
We can't help you.
but maybe call a specialist.
Yeah, call somebody else and they will deal with that. We're here to talk about... Ash, do you remember school holidays?
I do. Are we talking about
Let's talk
kind
about
of the general concept of school holidays?
General holidays,
Yeah.
school holidays, or just maybe holidays in general. What do you?
Well,
when you hear the term childhood holidays, what do you think of?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about kind of school holidays and general holidays, I guess when we're thinking about it nostalgically, they are kind of both the same, really, aren't they? Because you go on your holidays during the school holidays. And sometimes you did stay at home for what we would now call a staycation. Because we need words for kind of absolutely everything.
Yeah, we do.
Staycation. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How about just
Staying
staying at home, taking time off? We're on a holiday, I'm just resting. But you're at home, yeah?
Yeah. Can I not do that? Is that not allowed?
Oh, that's the door buzzing.
That's not for us. We won't deal with that.
No, that's fine. Might leave that in, might edit it out, don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, school holidays. So obviously when you're a kid, school holidays are huge because, I mean, they are, in terms of time, huge. Because you get like a month off at Christmas, you get 2 to 3 months off during the summer, sometimes 2 weeks at Easter and 2 weeks here and there and midterm and all of that. And, you know, I think you spend a good 4 or 5 months at least on holiday off school. So
I'm surprised we got any education. Just the amount of times.
Well, I mean, have you seen adults today?
I am an adult of today, Ash, and that says a lot right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't need no education, and that is the problem.
Yeah, because you've just used a double negative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah. much of the same way in Ghostbusters, I ain't afraid of no ghost, which means that you are afraid of ghosts, so...
I had to resit my English GCSE. Genuinely did.
Okay, what's a holiday that you can think? What's the first one that pops into your head?
It's like it's fighting in my brain between 3 different points.
Ooh. Okay. All right, I will go with point 3.
They're not in a particular order, so I'm just going to say Hunstanton. That's probably one of my earliest ones.
Okay.
And that was where I'd go with my grandparents. My granddad had a caravan, and he'd go caravanning several times a year. You know, he was one of those people who took up the entire road with his caravan and his car. And, you know, but we'd go away, and usually to a place called Eacham Beach or Heacham Beach, which is kind of in Norfolk. And
Heacham Beach.
Heacham Beach. Yes, it sounds like a disease, doesn't it? I'm afraid, sir, you have Eacham Beach.
Itchy.
Which is what you get from sex on the beach.
It goes around. Yeah, it is, yes. So what happened on Eacham Beacham?
Well, we kind of just stayed on a lovely caravan site, but it was just down the road from a place called Hunstanton. And my granddad would take so long to get ready in the mornings.
Yeah.
He would get up and he'd have his wash and shave, and then he'd take the dogs for a walk. So we always had dogs, and he always took the dogs for a walk.
Nice.
And then he'd come back and have to have a full cooked breakfast.
Of course.
And then kind of continue to get himself sorted out and toiletries and all of that. And it was usually pushing 1 o'clock by the time we actually left the caravan site. So by the time we've got down into Hunstanton and found somewhere to park, it's 1:30, 1:45.
Yeah.
You've got like 2 or 3 hours to actually do anything before the shops start shutting up. So, you know, my memories were always eagerly waiting to go out and do something, and then kind of getting 2 or 3 hours to actually go and do something. And Hunstanton's a lovely little place. But that was when I used to go with my grandparents, as the two of them. If my granddad, however, sometimes I go caravanning with just him, he'd commonly go up to Scarborough.
Ooh, lovely.
Which really, really loved Scarborough, and I enjoyed going there. And then there was the one that I went with my parents, which was usually the Isle of Wight, which was my first time ever playing a Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles video game, because there's a place called Sandown, and it's got a pier, and in the pier is an arcade, and in the arcade is the old, huge Turtles.
You got to play it on a cabinet.
I got to play it on a huge cabinet, and I remember it was a great experience, and that was back in maybe 92, 93. I was in the Isle of Wight about 2 or 3 years ago, just before COVID, because I was doing some tours around England.
Yeah.
They still have the cabinet, and it is still in the same place.
Just before you proceed on, I think, Ash, in your editing, can you put up a photo
of the cabinet?
Yeah. Not that particular cabinet, but just so people out there.
I actually might have a photo of that particular cabinet.
Oh, if you could put that one
I
up.
might have
I just want people to contextualize what a video game cabinet is, because some of the younger fans out there.
You wee whippersnappers.
Exactly.
In my day, it was all grass.
Yeah.
Now it's marijuana.
Yeah.
Again, changes in language.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They might not know what that is. They're used to download games or games coming on a CD, cabinets, big, huge monoliths.
I mean, they probably do know what they are.
You'd be surprised.
It's a little patronising.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Why don't leave a comment in the
Leave a comment.
Below. How old are you, and do you know what a arcade cabinet is?
And feel free to share abuse with me, because I may be that person. I might only be a year away before I'm just leaning out my flat window just going, "Get off my lawn, you kids!"
Doesn't even have a lawn.
I don't. It's just a pavement outside. Get off my pavement!
Yeah. I mean, it's a public right of way as well. It's like, that's just like being like proper curmudgeonly old.
Which is why Ash will be there just going, "You don't have that, you don't have this." So it'll just be me leaning out the window just going, "Go away! Leave me alone!"
Which, to be fair, at any age, I can appreciate.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
But yes, that was kind of my three main memories of those days. I'm happy to talk about them a bit more in detail, but I just want to kind of set the scene of where they were. So that's my main memories of kind of like setting the scene. Des!
Yes.
Do you remember your school holidays?
I do, and they are very different to yours.
Really?
Yeah. My parents and myself, we didn't go on a lot of holidays. You know, both my parents were my father's self-employed and my mother worked in a hotel. We didn't have a lot of time for those type of holidays, so most of my time was spent around my home during the school holidays, which I don't mind. You know, you hear those wonderful stories of going out to Scarborough and Heacham Beacham and things like that. That's Heacham Beacham. It's just nice. It's just fun to say. Most of my holidays were staying at home, helping my parents. There are a few times where there was a place called, and I really hope I'm getting this right. It was called Cuchulainn, which was it was kind of like an education type of like weekend away where you could bunk with your friends, and then you could go kayaking and mountain climbing and things like that. I enjoyed doing that up until the point where I think it was my second or third year there, where my vertigo kicked in halfway up scaling a mountain. I say a mountain. It was more just like a sheer cliff face, and there was somebody at the top with the rope and all that type of stuff. But I remember climbing all the way up, thinking that I was Peter Parker, and then stopping at one point and looking down, and then just fingers instantly froze.
See, my ADHD brain, when you just said all that, scaling a cliff face and all that, now I've just got an image in my mind of a little Des terrified as he clings to a giant face of Cliff Richard. Like you on his nose.
If you want to go that route, I really hope you can put in something in Photoshop here, if you have the time. But I am... For
that, I will make the time.
I remember being able to climb up that. I've never been able to do that since. That was terrifying. But those two memories I still fully enjoy, going out to kayaking and the... I was going to say mountaineering. It was more just like forest walks and things. It was those were nice times.
I remember kayaking school trip. We went to France. and
Posh boy over here.
water
Jesus.
sports. I mean, I'm not posh. Even though I went on a water sports trip to France with the school and a private nursery, I'm genuinely not. It's just weird coincidences and combination of things make it sound
I go
like that.
kayaking. I went on a 2-hour drive where I grew up into freezing cold waters in the north of Ireland. This guy goes kayaking. He goes to France.
It was the south of France,
The
actually.
south of France, where the wine falls like rain and the cheese is plentiful.
I got in such trouble.
Okay. Oh, yes. This is the story I want to hear. Come on, buddy.
So, we were intense, and me and a friend had been kind of arguing over something, and we actually got into a bit of a scrap. So we both got sent to bed by the teachers. And somebody nearby farted, and I said, because it genuinely did sound like it came from the other guy's tent. I was like, oh, it's from him. And he's like, no, it wasn't. And it actually wasn't. But the teacher was like, right, that's enough. You're both on washing up duty in the morning. So we're doing washing up duty. It's a campsite.
Right.
But it's a private thing, so it's all school, just our school and kind of the people who are in charge of it and running it. And there was this kind of older guy who was kind of just made me think of an old scout leader. He was a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
But then there was lots of younger ones who were kind of volunteers just there for the summer. And when I was washing up, and one of them decided it'd be a funny thing to do to take the empty bowl of washing up water while this guy sat there, the old guy sat there in breakfast, and pour it all over him and bring it back. And it was. People were mixed of that's funny and oh my god, that's shocked. And so I'm continuing washing up. And then this guy who just poured it over it, remember, he's position of authority, he's the one in charge. He comes up to me and says, now you've finished with your bowl, you should go and do the same thing. And I think, well, I've just been told to do it, position of authority. I'm like 10 years old, I'm an impressionable child.
Yeah.
And so I did, just went and I felt so bad, I just poured it over this guy. He's just sitting there trying to eat what's left of his breakfast. I'm like, and obviously I got a lot of shit about that. It was the last day, so I couldn't be grounded or anything, but sent to tent. But I'm so sorry. I don't remember your name. I don't remember the context, but I'm sure if you probably remember the incident, because that's an incident you'd remember.
You gave him a good story.
I mean, yeah, I'm really sorry, but I was kind of led by a
somebody in authority told you to do that to somebody else.
Yes,
and you didn't know this person.
I mean, I knew them. I knew both of them because they were kind of in charge of the camp.
Oh, okay.
They worked at the camp, but I only knew them in that regard. So yeah, that just when you were talking about kayaking, that just kind of came back, and it's like I really feel bad about it because it's like
You should.
I mean, yes, but I also I now know I'm ADHD, so also
that's awesome. That's
impulse
fair.
control.
That's completely fair.
But and like that combined with being told to do it, combined with the fact that what had just been done had been received what appeared to be positively by my peers.
Yeah.
All of that was like, okay, well, in that case, I should do this. And obviously I shouldn't.
Yeah, so part of your voice, your internal voice is just going, you really shouldn't do this. But the other voice is like, he's in charge, you need to do as you are told. So one was slightly louder than the other.
No, I don't even think there was a no, you shouldn't do this, because it was like, I've been told that it is okay to do this, therefore it is okay to do this, and it has been received seemingly well. And kind of one of the things about ADHD as well is there's almost an autopilot thing that goes on. Yeah. It's like, you're kind of standing there at the back going, bad idea, but the body and brain are going, no, we can do this. So yeah, that camp leader, the young camp leader who got me to do it, took advantage of a impressionable child
and made you soak somebody who was just trying to have their breakfast.
I'm so sorry. It looks so nice as well as bacon and eggs.
Oh. But bacon and eggs from the 90s, when things were nicer back
yeah,
then.
exactly. All those E-numbers.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, so I'm really, really sorry. So, Des, anything like that happened to you on holiday?
I am trying to think.
I'm going to tell that story.
I'm trying to see if I can balance this out now to give you like equal karma points here. I'm trying to see if I'm going to be honest with you. I can't remember anything that bad. Not off the top of my head.
Anyone else got stories like that to leave in the description, please?
Yeah,
make me feel better.
Help this man feel better, please.
Please do that.
I mean, random things were popping into my head, like I can't remember the name of the place now, but every sunny day, my parents and I think my sister, who was still living with us at the time, we used to fill up the car and we used to drive. Oh, it was a place called Newcastle, but it was a Newcastle in Northern Ireland. So it was like the sunny place wherever. It's kind of like here in Edinburgh, people flood to Portobello Beach. kind of that same sort of thing.
Portobello Beach, Portobello Beach, place where you go when you can't go Eacham Beach.
I didn't know that there was an official song for Portobello Beach, but apparently there is now. So
Did you recognise where I stole that from?
Wow, this is an episode. So I remember we would go to Newcastle, and I remember things very, very vividly. Number one, the car park was always full, so you spent a good 10-15 minutes just driving around to find a place to park. Second of all, I always remembered that when the sun was out, every single place used to sell buckets and spades in those weird plastic net things everywhere, and they would always be hanging outside, but if you wanted it, you had to go inside and ask for it, because that was the display model. Number three, ice creams were always amazing. No matter what ice cream you got, mint choc chip on a sunny day.
Mint choc chip is always good.
Oh my god,
so
amazing. And number four, you had your memory of the arcade machine of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mine was Sunset Riders, which I don't know if you remember.
Did that also come out on the Mega Drive?
I believe it did. Yeah. It was a Western-themed shooter, a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, where it was 4 players. So you used... Oh, he's away. He's looking for something. So my memories was always playing...
my butt in the camera.
Yeah, no, we have half a cheek in the camera, which kind of... Good God. So Ash is going to look it up now. In what book is this?
This is the A to Z of Sega games.
Yeah, so have a look. Sunset Riders.
Well, it was more that I was pretty sure I saw an advert actually for it. Is what I'm thinking.
And I remember so specifically the game because you would be walking. Excuse me, walking.
Oh no,
I
think I'm mistaking it for gunfighters.
Well, have a look. It
Let's
might be in
The A to
there.
Z, Sunset.
There was always the part you're always walking and shooting with the old 6-shooter because bang bang bang. But you always got like contra power ups, which allowed a 6-shooter to fire 4 bullets in every direction. Made sense at the time. And there was always one point where there was like back in the days, these were the versions of QTEs where a stampede of cows would come along, which means you either had to get on higher ground or leap on top of the cows and constantly press the fire button to run before they pulled you off screen.
No, this just goes straight from the popular video game Subterranea, I got 88%, and skips straight to
Sylvester and Tweety in Cagey Capers.
Which only got 83%.
I honestly think it's called Sunset Riders.
I
might be wrong.
I will Google that for
Yeah,
the
Google it,
purpose.
stick in some information. If you can find the bit with the stampede, add that in there as well.
Yes.
Because I think of that stampede and I instantly think of a cabinet in a semi-cooled arcade somewhere with the sound of clanking 2p coins from that weird slidey game that they've somehow turned into prime time television in the UK called Tipping Point.
What I will say is this actually, even though it's called the A to Z of Sega games, isn't an A to Z of Sega games because it doesn't include any of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games.
Maybe it's A to Z of officially branded Sega games.
Oh, it could be that. Could be that.
Something that... No, because we saw Sylvester and Tweety, and that's Looney Tunes. That would have been Warner Brothers.
Well, it would have been licensed from Warner Brothers, but it would have been. It could have been made by Sega. It could have
We're
been
going off on weird tangents.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm medicated for my ADHD.
I'm just an arse.
So
put it down there. I mean, things that I mostly remember, like like I brought up, the bucket and spade in the net, the mint choc chip, ice cream, getting chips, having them outside and fighting off the seagulls. Yeah, you have a chip, you pop. Chip, pop. That's how it works every single time.
Do you remember kind of not video games necessarily, but at arcades in these places where you go on a holiday, things like, test your strength, where you'd have to kind of, you'd have that heavy plastic arm and you have to go.
The thing I remember the most, but this was like, I think early 2000s, so I must have been in my teens, was the electric chair one.
Oh God, yes.
Do you remember the electric?
Yes. I never went on it because I was not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I did, because I am an idiot, and obviously it didn't electrocute you, but what I think it did is that basically it looks like an electric chair, and it has 2 metal handles, and you have to sit and hold on, and it basically tests your might by holding onto these hands, and you can't let go.
Okay.
So you're just making weird faces, and obviously the music is playing, the electric sounds, and so on.
Sorry, that's my alarm going off now.
That's
just
okay.
turn that off. That is to remind me that an item on eBay is about to go off.
Well, you make sure you get...
I'm just going to sit here for the next 10 minutes while Des, you talk about holidays.
I'll talk about that.
I'm going to make sure I get April O'Neil for a decent price.
Will he get it? Stay tuned to find out.
We have 11 minutes left of recording time and 10 minutes left until the...
This will be good. We got to stretch this out for 10 minutes. So the electric chair thing was you have to hold on to the chair, but obviously the metal handles weren't electrified. I think what they did is that they vibrated them.
Yeah.
You know the way when you're holding a power drill and you hold it for a long time and your hand starts shaking? I think it's kind of like that.
No, 38 minutes. For whatever reason, I got the timing wrong.
Right,
I've got
so
38 minutes, so it won't be this episode, I'm afraid. Maybe we'll record another episode if we've got time, and we can find out.
If you want, Ash, just at the end of this, just put in like a little section, just at the end of the credits where you just go, I got it, or I didn't get it. And that's it.
Dr. Sam Beckett never got his April O'Neil.
Ah! Why would you do that, you dick?
I was going to set another alarm to remind me of an hour.
We're talking about the summer holidays and time off from school. What are the things that remind you of that? What are the things the nostalgic things that remind you of that? Things like the arcade games, the having the chips and the mint choc chip ice cream, things like that. For me, it was the cabinet of the electric chair and the Star Wars trilogy cabinet.
So for me, obviously, I'm going to go for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet. That is so cemented in my mind.
Yeah.
Because I was such a huge Turtles fan at the time. And I don't know if we've done an episode on the Ninja Turtles. We certainly haven't done a video episode on the Ninja Turtles.
I don't think we have. So tick that one on there.
Tick that one off. Yeah.
Can I throw one in here?
Yeah, sure.
Orangina.
Oh, God.
We would never get Orangina unless we went to Newcastle on the Sundays because it came in those weird glass bottles with the bubbly type of feel to it, which made it try and feel like an orange, but it wasn't.
So I remember one time it was caravanning in Eacham Beach. And they had a late night, kind of a late night. I was a kid, 6 p.m. was like...
Yeah. Something for the dads.
I think they were still selling it as a disco. Because this was the 90s.
Oh,
so
school disco.
Come into the disco.
God.
Disco.
Oh, God.
And so it was Eacham Beach disco and for the caravan site. And my grandparents didn't want to go. Obviously. I had met because there was obviously lots of other kids on the site, so kids my age as well. I'd met this girl, and I was like, so her dad agreed to take us to the dance, you know. And kind of nothing really happened because 10, 11 years old.
Nothing's going to happen. He's like there for a good time.
He's like, I was 6 inches away from her. I could smell her hair. I'm now in love. And
that's weirdly how appropriately accurate that is for every 10-year-old.
So she got dropped off for her caravan, and the dad was walking me back, and on the way back, he bought us both, and I don't know if you remember them, they come in little cardboard cups, and half of them are filled with these little breadsticks, and the other half has got this little dunkable bit of chocolate, and I loved them when I was younger.
Dunkers.
Yeah, you can still get them. And he bought me one of those. I'm enjoying it, eating it on the way back. And I just remember him saying, and there's nothing dodgy about any of this whatsoever. But I just remember him saying, maybe finish up before you get home to a caravan because I don't want your grandparents to kind of, be angry or annoyed or upset that I've been buying you sweets or stuff. And, for some of that's always stuck with me because it was such a kind of, he was being really considerate and he didn't want to create an environment of discomfort. But it's just something weird that's always stayed with me. And I just, that is the only thing I remember specifically about Eacham Beach.
Wow.
Eacham Beach.
So what you remember the most is falling in love with a girl because you stood 6 inches away from her.
At a dance, at a disco.
A dance in a disco. A father being kind of appropriate for you.
Yeah, very appropriate and considerate.
Chocky dippers, yeah. There we go.
And getting into Hunstanton after 1 p.m. because my granddad was always waiting to get ready.
Wow.
That is my adventure. And also buying... Oh, no. One more thing I remember of Hunstanton.
Yeah.
Hunstanton was my first experience of live theatre.
Wow. What was it? Can you remember?
It was Orville the Duck. Oh my God. And he just comes on. The one thing I remember is him coming on stage in this little red car, papping the horn. And afterwards, I bought like a signed photograph. I remember that is one thing I remember in Hunstanton. I saw Orville the Duck, and one of my favourite records as a child was one of the Orville the Duck albums, which I've listened to recently and is a little bit racist.
Everything was just a tiny bit racist back in the day. Yeah.
It's like Cuddles sings this line where he's like trying to change colour to green and he keeps getting different colours and messing around and all that and different colours. And there's one line where he says, I look like I should be appearing on the black and white minstrel show.
Oh,
So
God.
that's inappropriate.
That's
The black
it.
and white minstrel show is inappropriate, but that's for another.
That's
we'll do-
that's a whole different episode right there.
We'll have to do an episode on. Hey, Des, do you remember how awful some things were? But that's for a future
Some things
time.
were.
Some things were. Some things were. Yeah, but yeah, that's
This came clean out of left field because you were talking about being with your parents and the dad and everything. I remember this is so vivid. One time we went to the beach and it was the first time that my dad taught me how to drive a car.
oh wow.
I don't know if any other parents did this. It was like late in the evening and we were driving home and we found an empty beach. And my dad drove... Eacham Beach. Probably was. Who knows? It was an empty Eacham Beach. And we drove down there and he stopped and he allowed me... I don't know how old I was. I must have been like... I was very young because I could not reach the pedals. This is how young I was.
Wow.
So I would sit on my dad's lap and I would drive... I think it was a Peugeot 306... 4-door one with the pop-up boot at the back. It was the 90s. And we would just drive up and down, only in first gear. And he was in the car. But I just remember that so vividly. I'm sitting on his lap. I think my mum was here. My sister was in the back seat, and we were driving. And I distinctly remember the feel of the steering wheel. It was that sticky type of that feel to it, and the smell of fag ash. Because heavy smoker. Both my parents were smokers at the time, and that was so vivid. Of like driving up, circling around a stone, and going back down. It was like a mini Grand Prix type of thing. It was oh, God! I have not thought about that in ages until Oh wow!
I mean, that's the purpose of this show.
It is.
My only car related memory from holidays is when my mum and dad and my brother was around at the time.
Yeah.
We went on holiday to Blackpool Illuminations. The only memory I have of holidays in cars is they got clamped. I'm not paying enough on the car.
I chose the wrong time to take a drink there.
And
Yeah. Do you remember Dodgems?
Oh, I love Dodgems.
The smell.
You still get them. They're great.
You do.
You're not. The rule is in Dodgems now. You're not supposed to hit each other.
Bullshit.
You're
If you're a
around in a
Dodger,
circle and
you
you
smack
ram
into
them. Yeah.
What you want is that if you've done a job well done, you want at least one person to get whiplash.
Yeah.
And usually that person was me. Because they had those seatbelts things. Well, seatbelts, yeah. They were either way too tight or incredibly loose.
Yeah.
So if you got hit, you were flung forward. But that smell of the electric from the thing, the weird... I was going to use the term carny because I think that's like an American thing.
I think that's a little bit politically incorrect. I think if you are from that cultural, because it is actually a cultural background. Actually, there's kind of showmen and carnival workers. Even in Britain, is kind of a
in which case, I completely apologise for that. The carnival worker. I just remember specifically of every time the car would go around. Every once in a while, one of them would just jump on and hold on to the back.
Yeah.
For no discernible reason other than, I'm just here. He wouldn't even say anything to you, and he would just wait and just go. That was it.
The reason was probably that there were hot people in the audience who's trying to impress, like, hey, look at me, I'm riding around on the Dodgems. Yeah. This could be you.
Fag hanging out of his mouth, just like, all right, love, I'll be finished in 10 minutes. I'll give you a go in a sec on the Dodgems.
There's one more thing I want to kind of mention, and this was more kind of like a day trip thing, or sometimes my granddad would go caravanning there. And this was like really, really close and local. So it was a place you could go for the weekend. Mm-hmm. I don't think you know it, and I'd love to try and get a gig sorted out here. Ooh. It's called Matlock Bath, and it's more or less in the middle of England, not far from Leicester, where I'm from.
Yeah.
And it's this lovely little kind of valley, and it's just really got one road that goes through it with shops all along it, and then a big hill mountain and a stream that goes through it. And every year they have illuminations on boats that go down the stream, the Matlock illuminations. And there's one thing I remember from it, which was a building that was an arcade stroke optical illusions building stroke aquarium. And you go up to the top floor and get some fish food and throw them into this big swimming pool sized space that was just filled with fish. And you go down, watch the illusions, and go down, play in the arcade, and then you go out and watch the illumination. That just came back.
You see, those type of memories, 3 floors of entertainment. I mean, come on. Yeah. Oh.
I'd love to go back there. And it's also, I think it's where I bought my first Asterix book as well.
Oh, wow.
The little town just outside of it, actually. Yeah.
Oh, there's an episode right there that we can do.
You're a fan of Asterix?
I love Asterix and Obelix. Come on.
Excellent. I'm more of a fan of Obelix, but...
Oh, God, did I mispronounce the name? Damn it. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah.
And this episode was going so well.
Yeah, we should do an episode on Asterix, because, especially because there's a new film recently come out, which I've watched. It's all right. It's not bad.
Okay. I haven't seen any of the films, so we'll have to do that.
The live action ones are interesting. I prefer the animated, but yes, that's for another time. So,
yeah. But this was an impromptu episode. I'm so glad we did this, because this smile.
Yeah.
Oh, genuine. Of the good old days. See, this is why I love doing this episode with my buddy. I love this.
And if you are the guy that I drenched in a bucket full of used washing up liquid water, I am very, very sorry. But you know what? You should vet your volunteers better.
Yeah, that's like pin it all on him. Why not?
The guy who told me to do it. It's not my fault. I was
and on that note, let's end it there. If you have enjoyed this episode, folks, feel free to check out some of the other ones we did. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been a great episode. I'm really glad we did this. For now, I've been Des O'Gorman.
I've been Each and Beach.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Ash and Des.
Keep it geeky.
Bye for now. Each and Beach 'em.